What's up, everybody?
Oh my.
What's up, Kentucky? How you doing, man? I saw the fucking haul he came home with today. I was like, damn! He came home with like a freaking crazy haul from San Diego.
I was definitely intrigued by Cheers, motherfucker. That's a fantastic name right there. That had my attention right off the bat.
What, the Cheers, motherfucker?
Yep.
Oh, he oh shit! You're able to get got some KCBC. Dope. Got some AleSmith. What else did he get? Workaholic. Yeah, the only brewery that I really recognize is the AleSmith stuff. Oh, is that some Untitled Art? Yeah, Untitled Art. And then, what's that one on the top from? Okay, yeah, so I only recognize the AleSmith, the KCBC, and the Untitled Art. Dope. I'm excited to hear your thoughts on those ones, my friend. What's up, Derek? How you doing, brother?
Holy smokes, I'm a little tangled up over here. We better fix this now. Can't be getting tangled in wires when we're going to crack a beer. That'll just be embarrassing.
Shit.
Been looking forward to this one. Did the podcast earlier. You know, had to make sure that we had that out of the way.
Yeah, you guys did it early today.
Yeah, we did. That was I wasn't quite prepared to go so early, but it's fine. It's fine. Show was good. You know, everybody will get to hear that pretty soon, and
very dope.
Be good stuff. Maybe they'll drink a beer and listen to a podcast.
Maybe. You never know. You never know.
Hey.
Okay, so you're going to be drinking the Untitled today, and then, okay, you're doing some of the I'm guessing some of the stuff I didn't recognize were a bunch of San Diego brews. I'm assuming Kentucky, but... 4 o'clock. You know what that means, people, so let's fucking do this. Boom. What is going on, everybody? Welcome to another live beer review. And today, obviously you guys can see, we got a very special guest joining us today, because since I sent this beer over to him to take some shots with, obviously if you have checked on Instagram today, that thing dropped and it looks sick as tits and just bloody and gory, and I love it. Absolutely love it. And so, yeah, if you haven't seen it today, we're going to be looking at some EBK from Adroit Brewing, one of my favorite breweries out of Virginia right now. And I think they're out of Percival, if I remember correctly. It says they're around the DC area, so. But, yep, Percival, Virginia. So, yeah, close to around that area. But I'm so excited to try this one. This one's been sitting probably longer than a lot of my Adroits, so, because I've been waiting to send out to Sean and all that stuff and get the pictures done, but I'm really excited this one. I think I got this one back in January, if I believe. So, yeah, this guy comes in at a whopping 8%. So, for a nice hazy Imperial IPA, definitely a nice medium / higher up there on the range of ABV. But without further ado, let's crack in this thing. I'm really excited to drink it.
I'm definitely ready for this.
So we got to get that crack pouring. Oh, yes. So let's see.
Yeah, gotta get that can smell first.
Well, you got to. I'm getting like a citrus kind of like, definitely tropical up front. Kind of like a grapefruit.
I pick up orange juice.
Yeah, like orange. I'm getting a different kind of citrus in there. You're definitely getting that orange though, but more of like a kind of like a lemon or a lime on there as well.
All right, we gotta find out.
But of course, this one has lactose in it for a hazy IPA, so this guy is gonna be definitely a hazy boy. So let's pour these guys and see what we look like. Oh yeah.
Oh.
I think all my stuff's sitting at the bottom. You can tell because mine isn't as hazy yet. Wait.
Oh. Wow. That is. All right. That's pretty fucking beautiful. I might not be the expert here, but
yeah.
as far as hazy IPAs go, that's pretty goddamn gorgeous.
Oh yeah, that definitely has like that kind of like orangish kind of grapefruity kind of smell to it. Like it looks like the color of an orange peel kind of on yours.
Yeah, I'm definitely picking up a lot more of the grapefruit now that it's in the glass. But there's a lot of an orange juice component that's going on in here.
Oh yeah. I think I'm just gonna get. I'm hoping since this guy is. Let's see what hops is made with this one. So it's a double dry hopped IPA with Mosaic, Vic's Secret, Wemia, and Matuika hops. I think I could be saying those wrong, but yeah, this is. I guess this one is like the seventh iteration of their original hazy IPA series. So they had like a bunch of EBKs, but it's like one is called Until They Kill Me, and then there's all kinds of different names with it. So without further ado, let's drink these bad boys.
Yeah,
so
let's get into this.
Cheers, everybody. Oh yeah. That is smooth as a baby's bottom. Holy crap. That is.
So, you know that comedian Cat Williams. He talks about like sometimes you got to smoke a little something and you just kind of look at it like.
Yep.
That's what's going on right now. This is one of those where, for 8% to be that smooth is really, really impressive. And I think the thing that really caught me immediately is that mouthfeel. It is a lot creamier.
Creamy,
than I
pillowy.
was expecting, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm guessing it's that lactose in there just because it just gives it the nice creamy kind of flavor in there as well. But holy crap, is that smooth. That's the thing about when I've had a bunch of Adroit beers. For the higher percentage ones, you can mistake this for something being in the lower percentage just because of there's no really alcoholic boozy flavor in it. You're getting that really rush of citrus at the beginning, like citrus. I'm getting like a tropical fruit, maybe like a pineapple kind of in there as well. Just kind of give it that kind of stringy kind of creaminess in there as well because it's kind of a stringier fruit too as well.
It's interesting
But
too.
holy crap, that was good.
As it sits, the maltiness starts to kind of develop on the back of the tongue, just a little. This isn't overly malty. Mm-hmm. It's not. The hops that they chose, I like a lot of the citrus hops. I like a lot of the piney hops in my IPAs. This isn't overly piney.
Oh no, it's like that's. I think with the Mosaic, it adds with the Mosaic, it usually adds like a kind of like a pine / berry kind of note in there. Mm-hmm. So definitely getting that rush of citrus from like the Vic's Secret when it comes to just having those citrus notes in there. Maybe like a pineapple and like the kind of I'm getting a different kind of citrus. I don't know if it's like I think it might be a lime because there's that citrus note that I had on the one that I had earlier in the week that had lime in it. I'm getting those same kind of notes.
The thing that stands
it's really
out to
well
me
balanced
is I don't get a whole lot of the lactose flavor in this one.
I think this just gives it that nice smooth mouthfeel, to be honest. I think that's why they put the lactose in this one, just to give that creamy kind of element. It's not like an oily mouthfeel like on some just regular, like a regular pale ale to where it's like kind of like an oil slick kind of mouthfeel afterwards. This one is pillowy, soft mouthfeel, smooth, creamy. Everything that I could possibly enjoy off a nice double dry hop like IPA with lactose in it. Oh yeah.
And it's a clean finish, too.
And I love how at the end, you still get that slight hit of pine, knowing that it's reminding you that you're drinking an IPA. 100%. It's like you're getting a bunch of those nice hop flavors when it comes to the citrus, pineapple, maybe that little bit of lime in there. That the natural flavors that come off the hops. But then that nice piney kind of creamy finish at the end just balances out so well. And holy crap, this is Adroit. Killed it again.
The bitterness seems to arrive like well into it too. I mean, you don't notice it at first, and then as you've had, a handful of sips at this point,
right,
and then you sit back on it for a minute, it's like that maltiness kind of goes away, and then there's just this last little bitter bite that kind of like lingers for a few seconds.
Yeah, and that's the one thing I love about a nice hazy IPA. It's like I love all the flavors that you get in the beginning, where it's like all those natural kind of different profiles of the hops that come through. When something out of nowhere at the end, you get that hoppy bite that just reminds you of, okay, you're drinking a hoppy beer, you're drinking a hoppy IPA. And for this being an 8% and not having that kind of like boozy kind of taste a little bit to it, that's one of the top points I think with this one for me, because Adroit's known for doing that, being able to really like let the flavors of the hops shine when it comes to their IPAs and not get that booziness to come through at the end. Especially with like some of their stouts too. This one is absolutely delicious.
Yeah,
so let's see
definitely a fan.
What the flavor profile of this guy actually is. So if you guys don't know who Adroit is by now, I've raved and kind of gone crazy about him ever since you guys have heard me talking about him. But they're kind of the epitome of mixing metal, horror, and beer. I mean, what else can you ask for when it comes like the art style they do on their cans is easily some of the best can art I've ever seen from a brewery ever. So unique. They have a bunch of artists when it comes to like, and what they like to do is they like to bring out different series. So it's like 5 or 6 beers in one series. Like with the Elegy one, they based off their Elegy series off the Crow movie. So each one is a different art form of the Crow, and I love it. They just kind of mix to that like darker kind of artwork. I mean, obviously with this one is insane. The amount of detail in this can art, especially you could tell with Sean kind of had to play it around with using the kind of blood splatter, or because you can either call it blood splatter or you can either kind of make the debate that it could be rose petals as well.
Well, it was an interesting thing for me looking at it, because I mean, when I looked at that can art, I'm seeing this samurai in a field of all of these like, swords, and it says to me that like this has been a horrible battle, and what are we battling for? And I mean, it was kind of fun because here I am, I've got the can, I've got it situated the way I want it, everything's there, and I'm starting to splatter this blood, and as I'm looking at it, I'm going, okay, this is cool, but it needs something. And, having that moment to, like, kind of tell a story for a second, here's this bloody, dead-looking hand now reaching for the can as though, you should have never done it. You should have never tried to steal my beer from me. Now you've paid the ultimate sacrifice. You've lost your life for trying to steal my last EBK. And now, having tried it, I might chop your hand off for trying to steal my last EBK, because this might be worth some ultimate punishment.
And just looking at how detailed the can art is on Wells this one, it's insane.
Absolutely.
Just kind of just seeing you can see in the background just the battlefield and just hundreds of swords, it looks like. And you can see the bodies kind of sitting on the ground right there. Like, there was a battle that just happened there, and there's one lone survivor.
Yep.
And it's like, I feel like that with Adroit, a lot of their can arts tell a story, especially when they do one that's in a series, to where you look at each can art, it kind of comes in stages, too, where it's like one can art, maybe like beginning of the battle. I need to look at the other EBKs to kind of see if it's like that, but I can kind of go by the ones I've had with the Death of Civilization, in slow motion, like the one you posted a picture of that, like they
That was
try to
fantastic.
stick with that kind of Mad Max kind of apocalyptic kind of feel as well.
The thing I noticed with the EBK line, I think, as far as their art direction was concerned, is it seemed like they're centering around the whole samurai theme.
Right.
And, you know, you don't have to like samurai movies to be into that art. That,
Oh yeah, 100%.
You know, one of the more recent ones I saw was like super colorful and heavily graphic, and that's the really cool thing about their art direction. Is everything is super detailed or it's super vibrant. You know, I noticed that they make glassware with
They
their
did.
can
They have a
art.
glassware set. They did the one with the Revolt line, which is kind of like the GI Joe Cobra kind of thing, to where
See,
they have a bunch of GI Joe glasses with like Cobra on there and the people from Joe, and then they had the Death of Civilization glass set, which I purchased, which has every beer from the series of the Death of Civilization in slow motion, where it's every single can art they did printed on the glass, and it's just the amount of work they put into making these beers, and especially like because the start of the experience for the beer is by seeing the artwork at a bottle shop or a liquor store, and 100%,
Right.
if I saw this at a bottle shop or a liquor store, my eyes would be locked in and be like, okay, what the hell is this? Because with the amount of detail is something that catches my attention for can art.
Absolutely. I mean, my roommate is one of those guys. He doesn't know a lot about craft beer. He knows he likes a lot of different craft beers, but he hasn't fully, honed in on it. So for him, can art is a big deal. When he sees something that looks that goddamn cool, that's going to grab him instantly before he even bothers to see what kind of beer it is.
Right.
That's smart marketing, but it also speaks to their level of thought, right? That they went, I want to make this Hazy IPA series, and I want to call it EBK, and I want to do all of these different releases as we, develop this recipe and change it. And same with, the Death of Civilization in slow motion. The fact that they're thinking about it in that manner, that they don't just want to make this one style of beer one time. They want to give you multiple variants and create a line out of it. It pulls you in.
Yeah.
I want to know what the other Death of Civilizations are. I want to try the other EBKs now. I want to know. And that's brilliant. Plus, the whole metal meets beer theme, like, I want to go with you to their tap room, because I just feel like you're going to walk in and
if
like
I
Lamb of
lived
God's
in-
going to be playing. And
If
we're
I
gonna be
lived in
like,
Percival, I would be here at least every other day.
yeah,
I can guarantee that I'd be at Adroit every other day, at least trying their stuff, talking to people over there, just because it seems like it's that kind of atmosphere that draws me in. It's because like everything that I am interested in one like cultivated place, metal and beer. Yes,
right. Now just give me a badass chef making some crazy food. I'm in heaven. I don't ever have to leave.
I don't remember if they have. Let's see. Let's see. Tap room. Let's go on their website and look, and their tap. If you go on their website and look at their tap room, this place looks legit. Kind of has that warehousey kind of vibe, which is pretty dope.
I know if it's anything like their.
It doesn't look like it's suited for restaurant style, I don't think, because it's like you go in there, it looks like there's a bunch of. Oh, I love that art. They have shirts. Holy crap, that art on the like going up to like a second level, that is sick. Has that kind of like butterfly effect, kind of moth on there with like, you know how like when you do like an art form where it's like multiple small paintings and you put them together, it creates the giant portrait. Yep. But then like they're spread out still. Holy crap. If you haven't gone on Adroit's website and kind of just look at their stuff that they have when it comes to their tap room, their seating areas where they like the bar looks pretty dope with just that in like industrial style to it, which I really dig. This is the kind of place that I would really enjoy hanging out. And it's like you look out back and it just looks like the back of a warehouse where there's shipping containers in the back, there's trucks.
Yep, this
of course,
is
dumpster,
my
but
environment.
Yeah, this is kind of giving that industrial feel. Like, it literally looks like an industrial building you see at an industrial complex, where you see the flatbed trucks, you see the barrels, you see...
Yeah, dude.
Everything about this is just...
I like it.
Yes, please.
I mean, when I was still managing a vape shop, that was how we did our interior in the vape shop. We wanted that like industrial vibe.
I would absolutely love hanging out at this place, just because it's clean. It has different things in there that kind of draw you in. I love when breweries take advantage of using their barrels as like tables. Yeah. Because you think about it, you're barrel aging a beer, and like all these like whiskey barrels and like Scotch barrels. They have that worn wood look to them, to where the moment you kind of go there and see like a whiskey barrel with like a glass tabletop, and it just actually there's one right here where they're actually using smaller barrels as seats. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I love when breweries take advantage of that. Absolutely love it.
It definitely sounds like we're both fans of the brewery for sure. And,
100%.
When
like this
restrictions
place
are lifted, we're gonna have to make this plan happen.
This place has a vibe to where this is a bucket list place for me to go to, 100%. I would love
that lacing.
Oh yeah, you know when you have a clean glass when
you just
that
get
just
that
little sign of advice for you guys. You know you have a clean glass when the amount of lacing around your glass kind of gives that after foam. You know you're cleaning your glass as well. So, but overall,
if it doesn't squeak, don't pour it.
Yeah.
There's a reason they call it squeaky clean, people.
100%. And let's kind of, what else do they have? Like this, what Adroit has available on their website when it comes to their store, because you can actually order beer from them too as well. So if you're ever interested in purchasing something from Adroit, if you live in an area where you can get beer delivered to you, you're able to get beer shipped to you as well. So when it comes to all the different series, and it's like, these 4-packs aren't really that bad of a price. So like, I'm looking at one for their cannibalism one. $22 for a 4-pack. If I can understand that, because you think about it, you're going to be getting a high quality beer from Adroit just because you know who they are. Mm-hmm. Can art's going to be awesome, and yeah, I'm willing to pay between $22 and $19 for a 4-pack from these guys, because I know I'm going to be getting a high quality experience. Because whenever I've tried beers from them, they take that element of that craft end of things to where, you know, like when you think of anything craft style, that you know it's going to be that next level, and they raise the bar whenever I drink another beer from them.
I think about it like this, right? Like when you said that price, that's $5-6 a can.
Yeah.
If I go into, I have a place out my way called the Craft Beer Cellar. Mm-hmm. If I were to go in there and see this for $5 or $6 a can, I wouldn't bat an eyelash. Not one bit. And now, even after the fact, knowing what the quality of the products are, because for anybody who might watch that doesn't know me, I do product photography. Poonsloss has sent me one of their other beers, and I shot that first. So now, having experienced 2 different products from these guys, I'm really, really impressed by the flavor. There's definitely a certain level of care in their work that you don't get in just everybody's product. Right. I have a lot of great craft breweries around my area, but they're not crafting a hazy that's doing what this is doing.
Right.
That's that's impressive to me.
Like, that they take the quality of the beer before anything, and then they make sure that is set solid, and then they go into making some of the most badass art on a can you can possibly think of to kind of match along with that and kind of tell the story with can art, because I love when you're able to tell a story just with a picture. And then
Absolutely.
Just creating that overall experience that you're never going to be disappointed the moment you drink a beer from them. For my overall experience with how many beers I've had from them already, I've never been disappointed with a beer from them at all. Every single one I've had have been absolutely fantastic. The story that you see with the can art on them is fantastic. It's just the overall, this is the reason why Adroit Theory has become one of my favorite breweries in the country. 100%. It's because they drag you in with the overall experience of their beer, and they make you want more after you're done drinking it. And of course, with all the awesome can art, which I'm looking on their website right now, which is really cool, they actually have every single art that they've done for a can art available in a poster. So if you like a can art so much, you want to get a poster of it. Like, a lot of them are like 12 by 18 prints, so they're like smaller prints. But think of if you had like a wall that you just wanted to line up just crazy.
Yeah, dude.
Like art.
I
could see myself, like, if I had enough to where it's like, of course, I would do the Death of Civilization in slow motion posters, one line, and then do the EBKs, and then do just like the elegy
right
series.
There, that's probably 12 by 18 right
Yeah.
there. Just looking at it, roughly judging.
Oh, yeah.
You know, that's probably 12 by 18. Yeah, you could line a whole wall with, like, you know, one row each of your favorite lines.
Oh, 100%.
In the posters, and have your man cave or your she shed or wherever your beer drinking spot is. You could have that all set up. And never mind, like, I think about beer vendors of all kinds, you know what I mean? Bars, restaurants, things like that, who pride themselves in their craft beer selection.
Right.
What a great way to show your support for some of your favorite brands.
Oh, 100%. Okay, so let's start getting into the rating systems here. Since that we do, and we're going to get two different ratings because obviously there's me and there's Sean. So you're going to get two different opinions, maybe. So, like I said before, actually let's read the description of this beer before we get into the ratings here to see how accurate we were on flavors. So, a rebrew, the 7th iteration of their original Hazy IPA series. So the EBK is one of their oldest series when it comes to hazy IPAs. So that's really cool. And it's a semi-full body with nearly no bitterness and a soft fruit-forwarded hops. Aromas of tropical citrus fruits give the way to a forward notes of pineapple and lime before transitioning into a pine on the finish. Yeah, I think me and Sean kind of nailed it right on the fucking head, where it's like you're getting that nice citrus, you're getting a nice little like pineapple flavor. Because whenever I think of pineapple in a beer, I don't think of like just taking a slice of pineapple and eating it. I always think of that part of the pineapple that's getting closer to the skin on the outside, because you still have that kind of...
Yeah.
It's fibrous. It's... To me, actually, now that I think about it, it's kind of a mix between the pineapple closest to the core, or like actually taking a bite out of the core of the pineapple, and then the part of the pineapple that's closest to the end, because closest to the end, you're still going to get that good amount of sweetness, but then closer, like when you take a bite out of the core, you're going to get that fibrous kind of like thicker, like more dense kind of feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, honestly, like from a food perspective, like if anyone goes to Brazilian barbecue grill type places, they'll often do a dish where they'll just chop the very edge, so like just the part you really can't eat off the pineapple, and then they'll cook it on the spit like they do everything else. And you get that exact flavor, that little bit of extra fibrous, you almost, this might sound strange to some people, but you almost get that like cellulose, planty flavor, like it's best, like a grassiness.
Yeah.
You know,
well, you got to think, because
that.
When you think of hops, it's grown practically the same way as a cannabis plant.
Absolutely.
Like a hemp or cannabis. They're in the same family practically.
They are, as I understand. They're really only, you know, a couple of genetic markers.
I would
separate
say
from each other.
hops is more of like, it kind of can get to the point where it's kind of viney, because I've seen it grow a lot taller. If you like have like a flat grate around it, it will wrap itself, like if you have like a hold grate, like kind of like a spaced out cheese grater kind of situation, it will vine through the holes and all that stuff and go between 10 to 15 feet long.
Yep.
And
a friend of mine, actually, her entire garage was covered in hops, and that's the really cool thing to me as a person who is a cannabis enthusiast, is the fact that here's a moment where this one plant really does share some of these flavor profiles with this other plant. And so here we are with beers, and anybody who's checked out the Shed Time podcast in season 1 and heard our episodes with Poon Sauce McNasty, there are these times where we can get beers that have these familiar notes, these dark musty notes, or these different notes like the pine notes, these fruit notes. And from a scientific perspective, those are the terpenes and the flavonoids, and those are shared amongst all plant life, whether it's going to be cannabis plants, hops plants, or even your fruits and vegetables. And so they all share these similar flavor profiles that we can associate with things. And so sometimes you drink this beer and you go, oh man, there's this like weird dankness to it that reminds me of like opening an old box in my basement. And it's not to put a bad spin,
but you got to think, it's like there's words like fermentation, and it's like when you think of terms like fermentation, you think of kind of that situation of mold, to where you think about with aging cheese, you're molding the cheese to kind of increase the flavor. All of this stuff, like the amount of similarities between the flavors of hops and kind of comparing it to terpene profiles of cannabis, they're literally going down the same highway parallel to each other. Because it's with that's like when you get terpene profiles from cannabis and then compare different flavors that different hops produce, it's practically the same.
That's my favorite thing about IPAs, I think, is because IPAs are hop forward, and candidly, I specialize in that professionally now in my life. And so to be able to put these two different worlds together for a bit and say, hey, if you like these kind of flavors from cannabis, you should try these type of beers.
Oh yeah,
really super cool to be able to do, and to
100%.
show people that there's so much in common between the two worlds.
I don't know why. Like, I feel like if you're a big kind of like, if you're in really big into the cannabis game and you enjoy terpene profiles, I'm really surprised that if you're not a big like craft beer IPA fanatic, because they're so similar in how you taste things when it comes to either vaping it, smoking it, and then when the beer side of things, drinking it, you're using your tongue receptors the same way practically.
It's all your olfactory senses, because sometimes people forget that a big part of what we taste is the smell.
Right.
So that's why like you do in all of your reviews, you got to get that smell off the can, that smell off the glass, because
you got to think about it.
Each receptacle changes how your nose is perceiving the different notes.
Yeah, because when you smell it out of a can, you're going to be getting the kind of the aluminum mellowing down some of the notes you would get before you pour it into the glass. So if you notice that there's a smell that sticks out more between pouring it, like smelling it in the can and pouring it into the glass, if those flavor profiles are going to be there no matter where you smell it, those flavor profiles are probably going to be there the moment you drink it. Because if they're able to stick out between the aluminum and the can, because obviously aluminum kind of takes a lot of the flavor of like on the smell, and then that's why you pour it into a glass, because then you're just going to get that full body flavor. You're not going to worry about tasting the aluminum of the can in there. So it's just the overall experience they create with just like being able to like compare the two. I feel like that needs to be taken advantage of a lot more.
Well, and I'm glad you just said that, because something I noticed that I did that you didn't was when I topped my glass, I took that last sip from the can because I was curious about that can, the flavor you get from drinking the can. And I noticed you didn't.
No.
And that is something, right? Because sometimes some of the craft beers I've had, if I drank it from the can, I thought it was great. But if I put it in the glass, I was not a fan. And
I want to see if I can get this
versa.
to show. But you see that kind of cloudiness from the sediment in there?
Oh, yeah.
That kind of lacing actually in the beer. To me, I don't know why, but the lower parts of the beer where all the sediment is sometimes some of my favorite parts of the beer.
Yeah, like that's... Again, Hazy IPA. Look at the haze.
Oh, yeah. There's no chance of you being able to see anything from that. And it's like, look at the color difference when it comes to lighting, too.
Yep.
You can see that bright kind of lemony kind of color with him, and then this one has like that kind of orange, kind of grapefruit peel kind of color.
And to be fair, I mean, this is an example of me just putting the light on it because I see exactly what Corey has in the camera. I see that with my own eyes, but having extra light on it
just adds there's so many elements to beer that you can just make amazing when it comes to like light to the beer where it changes the color. Just you move it around, you can see the thickness of the beer, and just like,
I mean, the coating you can see as it moves off the glass.
Damn right, Kentucky. That's called murky goodness.
This is a winner in my book for sure.
Hell yeah! So let's start going down. Let's start wrapping this up. Let's start going down the rating system here. So we already talked about like the flavor profiles of the beer. So 8%. I like that I really enjoy that it's the 8% and you don't really taste the booziness. So it kind of is you already know it's really well balanced. So let's see what this has on tap. So with over 1,154 ratings on Untapped, this guy has an average rating out of 5 of 4.16. So a lot of high praises, and of course, a lot of people got this beer from Tavour, which if you don't know who Tavour is by now, it's a fantastic beer delivery / beer subscription service that I can never stop raving about because that's how I get a lot of the beers that I get my hands on. It's just either buying a lot of stuff that's either local to me or being able to get my hands on stuff from Tavour. So if you're ever interested on kind of seeing what Tavour offers, all you got to do is just download the app, put in your zip code when you create an account, and you'll kind of get an idea if you're able to get the beers that they offer, because they go by being able to get beers that you usually can't get by you. So it's really cool. You put in your zip code, and if you can get beer delivered to you, they try to make sure that they have beers on your list that they show up, that they drop, that aren't local to you. So it's like whenever I look on there's a bunch of breweries that Tavour has that are from Illinois, but I never see any of them because I'm in the state of Illinois. So let's say if Sean got an account with Tavour, he would never see any breweries from the state of Massachusetts.
Which is cool, man. Because I mean, you've had a couple come through that are from my neck of the woods.
Yeah. So like some of the stuff I've got from Tavour, like Levante. Levante is pretty damn close to him. And then what else? I think Levante is the closest one that I think I've gotten. I think
the Marshfield one we did on the podcast.
Okay, yeah. And then, like, speaking of a buddy of ours, Ashton, I've gotten stuff that has come out of Spokane, Washington, to where that's literally the town he works in. Yep. So it's a fantastic service to be able to like broaden your horizons with other beers that are available around the country, and I can't rave about them any more than I already do. So let's see. First off, first rating part of this thing, let's go off can art. So each of us are going to have 2 rating systems here because rating for me and rating for Sean. I'm already going to stop and top it out of the 5 out of 5 because I'm a huge fan of samurais. I'm a huge fan of that Japanese kind of art style and just kind of had that blood splatter on there. Oh yeah, this is an easy 5 out of 5 for can art. I would literally just buy this beer for the can art. That's how much I enjoy it.
You know, I'm gonna agree with you on that. I'm gonna give it 5 out of 5, and exactly like you just said, the whole being willing to just buy it based on can art. 2, when I look at the can art, okay, something that I don't ever see is the connection of the art. Okay, the way that this can art is put together, if you're somebody who collects your can art, when this label touches, it completes a whole piece of can art.
Mm-hmm.
It completes a whole piece of art, which shows you that the artist took that much into it. And then, of course, you know, there's that fact that, like, much like you, I'm not okay with what we would consider child appealing.
Right.
And I can't see this being marketed to anybody but an adult. When it's
100%.
splattered with blood, this is horror, this is samurai movies, this is heavy metal, this is definitely adult themed, and yeah, I'm 100% 5 out of 5 on that.
So let's see. Let's give an example. If me and Sean were at Adroit right now, and if we got the EBK until they kill me in a flight, would we get another one? I'm already going to say it. Most likely, if I had the opportunity, if I had the liver capacity of, like, having a beer from Adroit and then getting another one of it after a flight, I'd probably do it. But sometimes your liver says no and your alcohol tolerance says no. But so 100%, if I got this beer in a flight, a small little, like, 5-ounce taster, I would definitely get an actual glass of this afterwards and just enjoy it. 100%. This would definitely one. If I had the opportunity, I would keep this beer stocked in my fridge at all times.
You know, I agree. This is definitely one that if I was there tasting and I came across this, I would be like, yep, I'm zeroing in on this. If I'm not buying another glass of it, I'm at least taking some home.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
So let's see. Down to the final rating here. You've heard me and Sean talk about what we like about it and everything. So let's see. A rating scale is out of 10. So let's see. What am I going to give out of this one? I really enjoy the citrus notes of it. I enjoy how, like, smooth and pillowy it is in the mouthfeel, to where it's not like an oily texture. Sometimes the oily texture is kind of like, I enjoy it, but I enjoy, like, the pillowy, lactosey kind of, like, really smooth, creamy mouthfeel more. So I'm going to give this, for mine, I'm going to probably give this a solid, like, 9.25 to 9.5 out of 10. I'd recommend anybody who is a hazy Imperial IPA liker or a lover to try to get your hands on anything from Adroit. This one has become one of my new favorites from them. So an easy 9.25 to 9.5 out of 10. This is what I look for in a hazy Imperial IPA when it comes to flavor.
All right.
What about you, Sean?
I mean, I've been sitting here looking at this one going, for me, it's probably going to hit somewhere in an 8 to an 8.5. I like a lot of IPAs that I get myself into. I really love the citrusy note of this. I almost wish I had a little more of the pine note from it, because I really do like that aspect of a lot of the IPAs I get. But I'm really a big fan of the citrus. The lactose aspect is something I'm a big fan of as well. I was first introduced to milk stouts many years ago. Right. And when I first learned about milk stout, I went, oh my god, lactose in beer is the truth. So I really do like that effect it gives. The maltiness is not overwhelming, so that's, you know, a big play, but it's there. And so if you're not a big fan of the maltiness, then you may not be as into this one. Again, it's not overwhelming. If you can handle malt, I'd be like, absolutely try this, because it's only there after the fact. Right. You know, once you've drank it and you've sat on it and it's just sitting and it's been a couple of minutes since your last sip, that's when the maltiness appears. And by that point, you've moved on with life, you know? So absolutely, I'm gonna come in and say it's an 8.5. 8.5 for sure.
Awesome. So overall, really high ratings from both of us. If you guys are ever able to get your hands on anything from Adroit, don't hesitate, just do it.
Absolutely.
Just do it. And if you're ever in Percival, Virginia, or around that area, I highly recommend going over to their tap room. Tap room is really, really cool looking. I love you'll be able to have an overall great experience no matter what time of year you go there, because, of course, you're going to be trying different styles of beer depending on the season you go in. So, from the stouts to the sours to the IPAs, to me, what they do is flawless. I can't say any more praises about this brewery. I can't say anything that is really upsetting to me about Adroit.
Right? Absolutely.
I have nothing but huge respect and huge love for what they do, and the highest, probably some of the highest quality beer I've ever drank has come from them. You can tell that they put their craft first before anything. And that stands alone to why they're one of my favorite breweries of all time. So whenever I come in and review something from them, I'm overly excited. Overly excited.
I can see why.
So, I think that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We've both stated our opinions about this stuff. We've had a good conversation. And, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So, again, if you're new to the channel and like what you see, make sure you hit that subscribe button along with that notification bell. Let you know whenever I go live, do another beer review. Or, if you're hanging out now, greatly appreciate all of you. Make sure you hit that like button on your way out. Help me out greatly. And if you guys like kind of a social media kind of aspect of beer, make sure to give me a friend request on Untapped. I have my link down in the description below, so you just click that link and shoot me a friend request. I want to see what other people are drinking to kind of give me an idea of like, what should I get from other people's neck of the woods to kind of review. So I'm really excited to see what other people are drinking so I can keep an eye out for that kind of stuff. Or I'm just interested to see what other people are drinking, to be honest. Because everything's different. Everything's different from state to state. And I just love seeing other people drinking fantastic beers that I'm a big fan of as well. So, other than that, that is it. Thank you, Sean, for coming on and doing this review with me. It's always a pleasure hanging out with you. Well, that's pretty much it, guys. So, if you're going to drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive. Hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your weekend, a fantastic Easter. And I know there's a little bit left, but cheers, everybody.
Cheers.